From Taylor Swift right down to Olivia Wilde, you can't deny the fact that Harry Styles' love life has been super eventful. But is he about to get himself another girl? He was spotted sharing a pretty warm hug, and it'd be safe to say that this was probably the first after his breakup with Wilde. Nobody has been able to see him this close to another woman like that before this, so it's a pretty big deal. But who is the lucky girl? We're talking about Sophia Krunick over here. She's the head of events at the Chiltern Firehouse, and outside this building is exactly where the two hugged each other. You could pretty much imagine her joy. I mean, it's not every day that a woman gets to fall into the arms of the star just like that. Both of them looked like they were savoring the moment, and it just makes you wonder, where had they been before that? I could guess some things by looking at their warm clothes, jackets, and Harry's black scarf. They could have been on a cute little date together, or they could have just been walking around the sidewalks. It's impossible to be able to tell for sure though. The singer is a highly private man. He doesn't like people prying into his business, and seeing as he has brilliant ways to keep secrets, it might be a while before you'd know anything for sure. But there's one thing you might be wondering, is he already over Olivia? Because practically up until last year, the two had been obsessed with each other. But in November, sources confirmed that they were both going to split up, and though that came as a huge shocker, it made sense. They were just not at the same place in their lives. Looking at how busy their schedules were, and how both of their careers seemed to leave almost no time for each other.
Harry is a fearless performer. He's a great storyteller, and I think all musicians are really storytellers. And if you've stood in front of thousands of people and performed, you're not going to be intimidated by a few cameras. So that kind of openness and playfulness and fearlessness is so wonderful on a set.
Harry, you're currently in a relationship with Olivia Wilde, correct?
I try and keep the fame thing out of the relationship thing as much as possible.
So that's a yes.
I mean, you said it.
So you're going to have to guess which of the three famous Olivias is your Olivia after anonymously hearing their answers to several questions.
It probably felt like the best thing to end it right there. I mean, he was on tour abroad for God knows how long, but he still wasn't the only one with responsibilities. Wilde had to focus on her two kids as well. Not to mention her work was in LA, which made it impossible for the two to find any peace together. So if you think there was some bad blood between the two, you'd be wrong. It seems that both of them simply decided that they wanted to prioritize different things, and that's okay as long as they are happy with it. And Harry seemed happy enough. His ex-partner, on the other hand, had a hard time putting up with the break, but it took Wilde longer than she had expected.
We needed whoever was going to play Jack to be instantly lovable and someone who was deeply charming and empathetic. And I knew that Harry and Flo would be beautiful together and that they would work really well together. He just was the perfect Jack, and it was really about them being the perfect combination.
At the time when they took a break from each other, they had both decided that they'd eventually make things work, since it was becoming harder to get things going with every passing day. It just couldn't get to that point, and that's why she decided to try and cheer herself up. And she even went on a girls' trip to help get over her feelings for him. But as time passed, she started opening up about whatever was going wrong between the two, including the fact that the public pressure was a bit too much for them. They started dating on the set of Don't Worry Darling, and ever since, the rumor mill had simply been churning stuff out about both the stars. It just became too unbearable. On the other hand, she especially put down all the rumors about any cheating from her partner's side. There was none of that. But it seems that Wilde was another one of Styles' list of failed romances. I mean, you can't have forgotten Taylor Swift. They became one of the most talked about couples of their time. It seemed that after they crossed paths back in March 2012, they were smitten right from the start. They were seen attending parties together. Not to forget, Harry even wore the paper plane necklace that Taylor had been seen with quite a few times. So yeah, that pretty much settled it. And it was all pretty serious. I mean, he practically went up to meet her family. He must have wanted it to work, because in the same month, they both went on a trip to England. They had a pretty good time until all of a sudden they split up. If you're wondering about the reason, you simply won't find it. None of them opened up about what went down. It just suddenly fell apart. In fact, it wasn't until 2014 when you probably got to hear her album 1989. I mean, come on, anybody could tell that the songs were written about Harry, especially Style and Out of the Woods. Those two weren't even trying to be subtle, but it's safe to say things seem to go wrong with him even when he's trying his best to keep them good. He opened up about the time when he was with her, and he said that he was far too young to understand how relationships work. In his heart, he very badly wanted it to just be a normal date with a beautiful girl. Still, things went out of hand and no details were ever revealed. And even then, would you just look at how kindly he spoke of her? Not a single bad word out of this gentleman's mouth. But if you thought that the Swift-Styles duo was confusing, wait till you see the next person he got involved with. The Kendall Jenner fiasco is still a mystery. The rumors of them dating already started coming around the end of 2013, and that was a time when both of them denied any romance between themselves. But little did they know that only a year later they'd both be looking at each other differently. They were out on vacation together in California.
You and Kendall are really good friends now, right?
Yeah, been friends for a while now, yeah.
Yeah.
Like several years, yeah.
It's sweet that y'all are still really good friends.
Yeah.
And it's safe to say that the two were flirting with each other. It was all too scandalous. But things went cold after that, and they weren't seen messing around together until the end of 2015. You best believe it, because they even shared a kiss. Still, if you find yourself confused, don't worry. You weren't the only one. Even the Kardashians didn't know what to name the thing that was going on between them. After that, up until 2019, they were only spotted with each other on and off. And though the two seemed on pretty friendly terms, it was hard to tell if the two had any romance going on.
You are one of the few members of the Kardashian-Jenner clan that does not have children.
Correct.
Rank your siblings, Kim, Kylie, Khloe, Kourtney, and Rob, from best to worst parents.
The sort of toweling dressing gown.
Yeah, it's purple actually.
Oh, it's looking grey in this
That's
light.
not split hairs.
Oh, okay.
Have you got anything on under that, or
Jamie, go on, say no. He's checking.
I don't. If you remember it, we crammed your head down into a Union Jack cake.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Did it take a while to get like the food coloring off your face?
Well, the thing was, it was an ice cream cake,
yeah,
and it was solid, so it actually really hurt my nose.
Still, it's safe to say that his bond with Kendall remained intact. I mean, she did attend his concert in 2022 with her siblings, so it's safe to say that they've both been supporting each other for almost a decade now. But his dating list is longer than you think. Camille Rowe is another lucky girl on it. This beautiful woman shared a lovely romance with Styles for almost 2 whole years. She was seen at almost all of his concerts in 2017 and 2018 when he was out on his world tour, and that's the kind of support you just need for a relationship to work. I mean, the two stayed strong even after she left for Oklahoma to start working on a movie, and once she was back, things went back to being the same. Not for long though. After Fine Line was released, a lot of the fans wondered if a few of the songs were about her, but there had been several other women who left a lasting impact on him and his music, and you better believe it, because there are going to be more. That's all we have on Harry Styles dating speculations. See you in the next video.